What is your American dream?
My American dream is to spread love all over the world.
My American dream is to live in a safe world.
My American dream is to come here to work because I love this country.
My American dream is to play one day in the NBA.
Out here in America, dreaming every day with my friends over there, and we're just trying to say, hey.
My American dream is good life.
My American dream is the life I'm living right now.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
I'm a groundhog.
He's a groundhog.
And Brad Show's #1 fan.
He watches Brad Show live.
The one and only Groundhog Sam.
Groundhog Sam. Oh man, with the shield and everything. Wow, I feel very protected and also powerful. I'm kind of like Captain America, which is so fitting considering the 4th of July was this past weekend. Oh, hello everybody. It's Groundhog Sam here. I have missed you all so much. I hope you've all been safe during the pandemic. I bet you guys have been wondering what good old Groundhog Sam's been doing since March when we were quarantined. Well, I'll tell you what I did. They're saying pandemic, the quarantine, okay, it's coronavirus. I got myself a little Coronita box because I'm little. I don't need a whole big Corona box. I need a Coronita box. And now I'm going to sleep. This is like hibernation. I'm going hibernating again. It's weird to be hibernating now in the spring. And yes, we called it. It was an early spring. Wake me up when it's over. And that's what I did, everybody. I just slept. I slept and I slept and I slept. And I dreamt of Pimpa. Ah, Pimpa. And I dreamed of Brad and Yonathan and Ness-quick, and I wondered what they were doing in my dreams. And then one day, I heard that New York City was going into phase 2, and some people were coming into the office.
Groundhog Sam, people are back in the office. We need you. We need your help. Where were you all this time? Oh, Wayford, we missed you so much here.
Ellen! I'm so happy to see you! I've missed everybody!
By the way, it's because of social distance.
I'll give you my tail. Tail to elbow.
I tell you, we missed you. Let's get the show on the road,
Yeah,
okay?
yes. Ellen!
Have
It's
to
so
get
hungry.
back. Yes.
So everybody, I hope you're safe. I hope you've made it through this time. Continue to stay safe. Social distance. Wear your mask. Eat pretzels. And celebrate life. And now is the time you have all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-hosts Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias and Vanessa Ness-quick Contreras. Enjoy!
Welcome, everybody. It is our post-July 4th show. It is July 6th, a Monday. Do we have Yo-Yo and Ness-quick in the house or in the apartment A and or 9J or wherever you are, and Vanessa across the river somewhere in New Jersey from her house? We got both of them in the house. How are you guys doing?
We're good. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. It's Monday.
How was your weekend, guys?
Weekend was great.
Really?
I still celebrated.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. I have not heard anyone have a great weekend in a very long time. Partake in sharing that weekend with us, please.
I celebrated the blackout. I did not celebrate Independence Day because we are not independent. But me and my friends, we celebrated Blackout Day, and we did exactly what we've been doing, throughout the years of July 4th. We just come together.
Except you just called it Blackout Day instead of July 4th.
Yes. So this was that was the only change.
Okay.
The only change. We called it the Blackout Day. We had our fireworks.
You had your good time?
We had our good time, and it was fun because we hadn't seen each other in so long. So it was intimate still, so it was still safe, and a lot of them are essential workers, so they have to get tested a lot. So it was cool. We had a blast.
Cool. And boss lady, what were you up to?
4th of July was actually kind of funny for me too. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was necessarily a time to celebrate our independence, being that we're building so much awareness on a community that doesn't necessarily feel that way so much. So until we're all feeling this independence, I kind of just laid low and relaxed. And then same thing. I mean, I had a small little barbecue with some friends on Sunday, and very intimate. Nowadays you can't just wall out and invite everybody over, So yeah, very simple, low key, but yeah, had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had lunch with my family on Saturday, and I went home and watched TV. I mean, I did not do much either. I didn't feel like celebrating July 4th either, for multiple reasons, for all of the social awareness, for coronavirus, for just a miserable 2020 so far. If this was halftime of a football game, I guess it would be, 2020-42 Earth nothing. But hopefully we got a second half. We can have a comeback.
Please.
Yeah.
Right. We can have a comeback.
I mean, it's up to us now moving forward, right? So we're aware with what's going on. We're just gonna keep building awareness. It's kind of like a Renaissance time. Hey, we're in an awakening right now. So let's just be woke.
Right. Well, I agree with you because July 4th is basically the middle of the year. It's 4 days into our second year. So to me, this is like halftime for the year. And so far, we're getting our asses kicked. If I was the coach in the locker room, I'd be like, hey guys, come on, we're getting our asses kicked by Earth. Earth is killing us, with everything that's going on. We need a comeback for the second half. What do you think, guys think?
I agree. It's not letting up though. I don't know. It's kind of scary.
The only thing is you have to have some faith in humanity. Other than that, we're gonna get our asses kicked.
That's all that's left.
We're gonna get our asses kicked for the second half of the year too. It's gonna be a terrible, right?
Lord, yeah.
Oh Lord, oh Lordy Lord, as they say, right?
At the same time, I do feel, because maybe it's happened for myself, if we've been trapped in our homes, I would hope that people have found passion projects. And there's been plenty of time just to keep brighten things up, right, squad? If you have something you love and you're trapped at home, develop that and grow in yourself and spend time with yourself since you're already stuck at home. So let's look at the bigger picture. Yes, we're at the halfway mark. May have not been the cutest so far, a couple of teammates are out, but let's be optimistic and complete the rest of the year.
Exactly. All right, let's say hello to the family. The squad, Patrona Suarez saying squad up, Christy Consali. Volume, please, Brad. I hope people are hearing us. We checked our volume on our side, and I'm told we're A-OK. So, guys, if you're not hearing your volume, maybe it's a Facebook thing, but we are, from what I understand, we are broadcasting out fine. Prosper Ikachukwu, hello. Rochelle Sinclair Brown, how are you? Cher Blessed, highly favored. Perrin, very, very low. Yes, I'm talking like this. I'm not talking like this. I'm screaming my head off, actually. Carol Anderson, the Tigers, squad up. Jessica Levy, how are you? Joy Titus, squad up. Everybody's staying low. Just get that volume up. Get that volume up. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Facebook today. I know on YouTube they hear absolutely fine. Deion Reed, squad up. Tamika Nelson saying hello. And Javelle Finnegan saying welcome back. Oh, I can't even talk anymore. Welcome back, guys. I don't know if he's hungry, he looks at us, or he just, he's hungry for the show or something, or he's eating while watching. I'm not sure what that means, but we're back. Rahendra Bessiar saying squad up, and Lisa Bling Rose. Uncle Brad sounds happy. What did he do? What? Let me ask you, Lisa.
He rested this weekend.
Lisa Bling, the question is, what didn't I do? That is the question. I already told you what I did on Saturday for July 4th. Garfield Smith, squad up. Cordella Douglas, how are you? And Dixie Peach, squad up. And Stargirl Mika and Marge Higgs saying the volume is way, way up now. Guys, we got to check out YouTube. We can't forget YouTube. Ahmed Gabar, why hasn't it started yet? Well, here we are, Ahmed. I'm a little late reading that. Back it up, Ricky. Good evening, everybody. Tia Prasad, Annie saying hello. Mariatu Bangura deleting the message. I don't know what he was going to say. 29 Super C, poor little Sam. Hill 6060, squad up. Stephanie Momo with a question. Should we start answering questions now, guys, or wait?
I think I'm taking a look at some of our stats. We need to get some thumbs up. I'm not even getting on them yet, Brad. I need to see some love.
All right. Well, Stephanie, you heard it from the co-host. We'll get to your question in a little bit. Janice Williams, squad up. Julia Muniz, squad up. Tally, Jean Love, and explore everything. And now, guys, you tell them what we need to do to get some thumbs up while I stretch and get ready for schmoozing.
All right. Well, let me know first that you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? I'm not breaking up.
I hear you.
Okay. You can. Okay, great. All right, everybody on Facebook, you guys already know. First things first is I need you all to start sharing. It's very easy to share. All you have to do is click that.
Oh, but now we've lost Yo-Yo. Now we've lost him.
Lost me?
Now we lost you. After we had you, we lost you. All right, Ness-quick, take over.
Alrighty, squad. So you already know. Let's start sharing as we prepare for a watch party later on. But we need you guys to share. Make sure you're giving us all those thumbs up. How are you feeling? Are you loving us? Smiley face emojis. Send those our way. I will make sure that Brad is not answering your questions until we get that love. Okay, guys? We want to make sure that we get this out to the masses. That's part about the community, right? So share all the love and information that we get on here with everybody in your community. That's on Facebook, guys. Make sure that you share, you post that. If they don't know what Brad Show is, you sure know what it is. So make sure you let them know, and let's build awareness on YouTube, squad. You already know, if that little bell is red, you need to turn that gray right now. Subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you guys know when we are on, even if we are having a slight delay, because we are still adapting to new norms, y'all. Making sure that we get this out for you. Go ahead, Uncle Brad.
I have a public service announcement. I really have a question for you guys. You know, I'm not used to being in the picture when you guys are telling everyone thumbs up. I'm not sure what I should be doing. I'm just shaking my head, giving thumbs up. What should I be doing, guys? I don't know what I should be doing here.
Stretching, like you said.
I'm supposed to be stretching, but I can't stretch when they got me in the picture.
You're supposed to be stretching.
I'll just stretch anyway while you do it.
Get ready. If you stay ready, get ready.
Put my legs up here. See if I can put my leg up. There we go.
You guys, and if you don't already know, you can also share on YouTube. So don't think that that's just a Facebook thing. You can share as well. Share it as a post. Leave comments, show us love. I am going to take a look at what we're looking like on YouTube. How are those thumbs up, squad? Are we okay with what we're having right now? Or I feel like we can always do better. 35. Yo,
come on, we could go higher.
You can't get them, let them know about this way. So we get this
guys.
higher.
Y'all have to give us thumbs up. There are 99 people watching right now. You definitely can help us out. If everybody watching clicks that little gray thumb, I see it going up right now. Let's do this so we can start this show. We can schmooze with Brad. I need y'all to just go up a little bit more. Come on. Brad, let him know. Go up a little bit more. There it is.
How many thumbs up do we have so far?
Let them know what we're offering.
That can't possibly be.
On Instagram with their
Honest to
loving.
God, 10 thumbs up?
No.
Well?
That's what it has on my YouTube.
No, we have 37.
I'm looking at 38.
38.
All right,
Okay.
and with the
39.
people watching on YouTube and everyone sharing a watch party pretty soon, what can our friends find on Instagram, Yo-Yo? That they're definitely gonna want to hear this.
Listen, there is a competition going on Instagram. You guys have to go on because we are giving a free consultation, $200 worth. If you see this right here, Dancing Brad. I need to see that for real.
Yo, by the way, after our schmooze, because we didn't pick a winner from last week's contest, we're gonna be doing it after our schmooze in about 20 minutes from last week's contest. Or you could enter this week's contest, which will be this Wednesday.
Exactly. So it's very easy to enter this contest. All you have to do is, you saw that Dancing Brad. I need you guys to like that post, tag 5 friends, 10 friends. You do 5 friends, we'll put your name in 1 time. If you tag 10 friends, we'll put it in 2 times, and so on. And make sure you guys also follow the page. Tell all your friends to follow that page as well. All right, Brad Show Live, and then you'll get in the drawing for a $200 value consultation with Brad. And like Brad said, right after schmoozing, we will pick the winner from last week. All right, so y'all make sure you do that right now. And now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is where we talk about what's going on in the world with Schmoozing with Brad.
So I have in my hand here the top 200 stories from the last 4 days here, guys.
A lot has happened.
Now, a lot's happened. July 4th looked a little different this year. Up to 80%, 4 out of 5 fireworks shows have been reportedly canceled, but Americans still gathered to celebrate. We even heard Yo-Yo celebrating Blackout and Vanessa celebrating with her friends. Now, experts worry that all these celebrations, even Yo-Yo's celebration or even Vanessa's celebration, it's going to add to the 2.8 million infections already in the United States, more than 130,000 deaths. I'm sorry, Vanessa and Yo-Yo, for calling you out on that. In the first 4 days of July, over a dozen states reportedly saw a record increase in coronavirus cases. Florida and Texas both hit highs on the 4th. In Arizona, close to a quarter of all tests coming back are positive. Meanwhile, finally, after 4 months, Vice President Mike Pence has called on everybody to wear a mask. This should have been happening since March. Why have this whole culture war about wearing a mask? And now governors, including Republicans, of at least 20 states have mandated it. Last Monday, even Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has told everybody to wear a mask. This is all, by the way, it's not even a culture war. It's a Donald Trump vanity issue. He doesn't like wearing a mask, so nobody else had to wear a mask, and people die and got sick as a result of it. It's really a Donald Trump vanity issue because he thinks he looks foolish wearing a mask. Well, maybe his makeup is coming off on it. Maybe some of his pumpkin makeup is coming off. I don't know. But it's really a Donald Trump vanity issue more than anything else for 4 months. Because he doesn't like the way he looks in a mask, so therefore no one should be wearing a mask. But masks save lives. Even if you've already been sick with coronavirus, mask saves lives because you don't know if you're going to get sick a second time from it. There's people who have been sick 2 times already with coronavirus, and the only thing we know for certain is if you wear a mask, the rate of transmission reduces by over 90%. So by you wearing a mask, you are saving another person. Even if you're confident that you don't have coronavirus, it doesn't mean that you won't get it. You didn't get it in the last 5 minutes. And also, even if you're confident that you've already had it and you're immune, you set an example for everybody else. Everybody wears a mask. That is why in Europe, it's why in Austria right now, there's not a lot of coronavirus. Why? Because everybody wore a mask. Okay? People followed directions. They didn't follow Donald Trump's vanity thing. He had a vanity thing. He doesn't like to wear a mask. Therefore, no one should wear a mask. It's us versus the media. Well, you know what? His vanity cost him his election, cost him lives, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lives. Congratulations, Donald Trump. America is #1 in the number of coronavirus cases.
Wow.
Now, Trump, he's still sending mixed messages. In a July 4th speech at the White House, Trump claimed that 99% of the coronavirus cases are completely harmless. Let's watch this one. Let's watch
we
this
have
one.
tested almost 40 million people. By so doing, we show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
It's not true. As a matter of fact, the FDA commissioner, Dr. Stephen Hahn, who's standing next to Trump during all of this, he refused to agree with Trump. When asked, is that true, Dr. Hahn? Is that true that 99% of the people who get sick, it's completely harmless? And he says, I'm not going to answer that question. Now, the CDC stats, he says, I stand behind the CDC. He says 35% of the cases that people get are asymptomatic, which means that 1 out of 3 people who get coronavirus never feel a thing. Okay? But 2 out of 3 get sick, and approximately 4% of the people or so who get admitted into a hospital in the United States die from this. So, what do you think of all this, guys? Does any of this scare you, or do you?
Absolutely.
Or you just? No. I'll say this. I mean, I think it doesn't scare millennials. I don't think millennials could care less about this. Kids and millennials, and I'll tell you why, and you can tell me I'm wrong, because millennials, college students, high school students, people in their 20s and even in their early 30s, they're saying, okay, if I get sick, I'll beat it. I'm not in the group of people who die from this. So it's like a cold. It's not the end of the world. And yes, that could be true. There are still young people who die from this. Okay? There are still, but the odds of dying from this are very, very low. So people say, I'm not going, people your age, I'm not going to sit at home. I want to go out and live my life. I'm a young kid. Why should I sit at home? And the answer, or why should I wear a mask? Why should I social distance? I want to have fun. I never get this year back again. Okay? I never get to have my senior year in high school. I never get to have my senior year in college. I never get to be in my 20s and young and single and love to mingle. I don't get that ever. Eventually I'm going to be married with kids. Let me enjoy my life right now. And I feel sad and bad for everybody like that. But what's missing in all of this is that 35% of you are asymptomatic, don't even realize you have it. You give it to somebody else, you could be killing them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
For the record, Uncle Brad, my little barbecue did not look like some of those festivities that we saw where everyone was on top of one another. So I'm totally avoiding those kind of situations. But I do hear amongst my peers.
Where's this a picture of? What was that a picture of that I just saw?
That was overwhelming. I don't want to be there.
Where the hell is this?
Probably either Florida or Atlanta.
That's in Delaware. That's in Delaware.
Oh, what?
That's in Delaware, she thinks. She's not 100% certain, but she thinks that was Delaware.
Yeah, well, that's where not to be in the midst of a pandemic. But I do hear what you're saying amongst my peers, unfortunately. And then when you try to be the one like, hey, you guys, just because we aren't immediately and directly affected by this at the moment, or so you think, it's still something that exists. It's a part of our day-to-day. It's something to be aware of. And if it is anything like a flu, and I still have people that are like, oh, this is the same thing they did with the flu. This is all a media storm and X, Y, and Z. And okay, I'm not over 60, so I'll be okay. Unfortunately, yes, that is a lot of the conversation amongst my peers. But I feel like the selected few should just do their best to honor.
You know what? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. My daughter, who just turned 17, she is of the theory, and this is my own daughter, She thinks this is all a farce. She thinks this is all a conspiracy. She texts me every day conspiracy theories from the internet that this is all about the government trying to control us, and it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. And I think a lot of people your age think that. I don't know.
I think we thought that early on. A lot of us thought that, but that's crazy. I'm not saying that your daughter is crazy, but like
that's crazy though. I texted her back. I said, "You are crazy. That is ridiculous. Stop sending me BS." But I say, actually,
Yeah, but to think that now is actually it's ridiculous to think that now. I have a lot of friends that are essential workers that work at hospitals. Actually, just this weekend, I was with a lot of different trauma nurses and nurses that are literally working with COVID-19 patients since this whole pandemic started. And like we were talking about like some of the young ones that did die, and they were like, that's all the medical staff. That like if a young person with no underlying health issues died from this, that is all on the medical staff. But they're not, of course, they're not going to be held accountable for it. So this is not a conspiracy theory. This is all real.
Yeah.
This is very, very real.
And our knowledge of coronavirus changes on a weekly or even sometimes a daily basis. If you remember, originally we were told we don't have to wear masks. Now masks are the only thing that could actually prevent the transmission of diseases, which makes sense because otherwise, even from the beginning, doctors were wearing masks. Okay, if you couldn't transmit it through a mask, why would a doctor even wear a mask? The doctors knew. And now they're saying wear masks. And before they said, well, you can only get it if, you touch a surface. Now you can touch a surface, it's okay. And then they say, okay, if somebody coughs in your face or talks loud. But now a group of international experts are publishing an opening letter to the World Health Organization and other agencies asking them to explain how the coronavirus transmits in the air. Now, Donna Milton, one of the authors and a professor from the University of Maryland, told CNN that airborne transmission word seems to be loaded. He said the group of 239 scientists from around the world wants the World Health Organization to be more willing to acknowledge the important role in aerosols, or whatever they want to call it, airborne transmission. Now, what this means is the virus is carried on droplets that come out of somebody's mouth and nose, and then these droplets fly in the air on dust. And the dust can fly all over the place. And these droplets can then eventually be breathed in by you. Now, the droplets eventually fall onto surfaces. They can be picked up by fingers. They can be carried in your eyes, your nose, your mouth. A loud bar, somebody who's talking loud, more likely to spread more droplets out of their mouth. All of this has never been explained to the public. What do you think of that? Yet you hear this for the first time.
I mean, honestly, like I said, I've been hanging out with a lot of different essential workers and nurses. They are still finding out a lot of different things. Like they're like, medicine is scientific. Like it's not, it's not guaranteed to work. Like there's a lot that they today don't even know about it.
It is all eventually discoverable and will be discovered by science. We just don't have the answer today. But it's amazing. Yeah. But it's amazing how politics and conspiracy theories overtake science. I've never heard in my entire life until the last decade, between global warming and now coronavirus, that we have to defend science.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the United States celebrated this Independence Day amid nationwide protests, calls for systemic reform. Yonathan had alluded to this earlier. In a short film released for this weekend, 5 young descendants of the famed abolitionist Frederick Douglass read and responded to excerpts of his famous speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July." Now, Douglas delivered this speech on July 5th, 1852, to a group of abolitionists. Abolitionists are people who wanted to end slavery. In the speech, he asked all Americans to consider the country's long history of denying equal rights to black people. Let's watch a clip.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim.
Now, meanwhile, in Rochester, a statue of Frederick Douglass was desecrated and removed, perhaps as a retaliation for some of the Confederate monuments that were also desecrated and removed. The perpetrators remain unknown. To his credit, because I got to give Trump credit when he gets credit. He gets very little credit from me. But to his credit, he said, quote, "These anarchists have no bounds." I'm not sure if he was referring, hopefully he was referring to the people who took down the Frederick Douglass statue and not the Confederate statues, but I'm not sure who he's referring to.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe I take back the credit.
Right.
Maybe
How do you gentlemen
maybe I take
feel?
back that credit. What?
I'm curious to what are you gentlemen's thoughts on how people are reacting now, really realizing what some of these monumental structures, you know, like people are really like protesting against certain structures, like certain what is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like monumental structures that have existed all these years, and now that we're becoming more aware and they don't necessarily fit the culture that we would want or are trying to create or make more awareness of moving forward. Like, what do you guys think? Like, I mean, how do you see it? Do you think it's part of the revolution?
It kind of reminds me, you know, because it's a revolution. When what monuments mean to me, and Yo-Yo, you can tell me otherwise, but what monuments mean to me are they're symbols of what you believe in your country and the pride of your country. And these are symbols that maybe in the past meant something different, but today, and maybe they didn't mean something different. Maybe people ignored it in the past. I don't know. But today they mean something very, very bad. They mean something that reminds people of a time in America that we don't want to remember. We don't want to honor people who owned slaves. We don't want to honor people who encouraged slavery. And these are people that we made monuments to, that we pass through every day. It kind of reminds me, in a way, when the Soviet Union fell. And maybe you guys are too young to remember this, because the Soviet Union fell in the late 1980s, early 1990s. All of Eastern Europe went from communism to some form of democracy. Now, obviously, Russia's basically an autocratic country, but many of the Eastern Bloc countries are democratic now. And as each country fell and there was protests to topple the communist regimes, the people who were protesting removed all the symbols of communism, including all the statues of Lenin, all the statues of the other communist leaders who came before the present communist leaders who got overthrown, because they didn't want those symbols. They didn't want to remember those symbols. So, you know, statues mean something. And certainly, you know, I don't think anybody is saying that we should overthrow the United States of America. And, you know, that's what Trump wants people to believe. Anarchists, you know, he calls people anarchists. He calls people, Anifa. They don't want to live in America anymore. Blah blah blah. All the things he said, but certainly we as a culture shouldn't be honoring those statues. And I think as our political groups are behind what the people are saying. So when our politicians, when we have meetings and politics and hearings about what should we be honoring, who should we be honoring, that's kind of behind what the people are saying in the street, and that's why you see statues toppling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That was off my top of my head. All right.
No, I agree.
Right. So, meanwhile, do you know? Let me tell you a little bit about Frederick Douglass, because you read about him in high school and elementary school, and then, to be honest with you, I haven't heard his name in a long time, and now he's back in the news, right? I mean, but he was a slave who escaped. And he is the first black man to run for vice president of the United States. He lost, but he was on a ticket. He was considered the best speech writer and best speech giver of the 1800s. He is. It says here he taught others to read. He helped his wife escape from slavery. He took his name, by the way, Frederick Douglass took his name from a poem. He was deemed the 19th century's most photographed American. I didn't know that one. I'm just reading this on a website. And he, like Yo-Yo, refused to celebrate Independence Day because he said he refused because there were many slaves that were still not emancipated during this time period. Now, Frederick Douglass recruited black soldiers for the Civil War. He served under 5 presidents in highly appointed federal positions, including U.S. Marshal, Minister, Resident, and Consul General to Haiti. And he was also, as I said, nominated for vice president on a major political ticket, but did not win.
And you would not have learned any of that in school except for reading it for yourself, just like Brad did, because they did not teach us all that in school.
You didn't learn about.
I had no idea that he was. I had no idea he was on a ballot.
I remember learning about Frederick Douglass in school, but I don't remember learning about him ever since. Or
Frederick Douglass was about 2 pages in our social studies book. Yeah.
Wow.
If that, maybe.
Yeah, I never
one
knew
day.
he ran for vice president. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, he was, by
We're
the way,
talking about it now.
He was, by the way, considered at the time like the person to give a speech. He was the most riveting speech, and he taught himself how to read, and he educated himself by just reading high school textbooks at the time, because nobody actually taught him how to do it. So he must have been an extraordinarily smart man. What else is going on here? Canada marked its Independence Day last Wednesday, July 1st, to commemorate Canadian independence. Young Woo, a CEO of Toronto-based Mars Discovery District, had a wonderful new commentary piece in Fortune magazine. In the piece, Woo, who writes he came to Canada from Taiwan in the 1960s to build a rewarding life, thanked America for self-destruction immigration policies, because that means Canada gets all of our immigrants. As he put it, you're shutting out the creators of your economic future, which of course benefits Canada. He wrote, "We Canadians should be quietly thanking you for your self-destructive immigration policies. They benefit Canada immensely, but friends, tell you when you make a mistake, and you're making a giant one by hardening your borders and your hearts to talented newcomers. So thank you, Canada, for keeping it real with us Americans." And that, guys, is what's going on. We got to get to our immigration questions. We got to also do our winner of the free consultation. So Yo-Yo and Vanessa, let's do the free consultation. I have the machine in front of me. I wish that.
And to be clear, this is last week's our last one's winner.
I don't have my hat
Our last winner.
The what?
That this is last week's.
This is last week's winner, right? So I'm going to open it up. Whoop, there's one guy here. There we go. Whoop, 2 guys who kind of fell out. So let me just do this one more time.
Yep.
Okay.
Brad likes to play fair, guys.
I don't want anyone to say that. All right. Now, if you, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa can, through telepathy, tell me where to move my arm. Should it go left? Should it go? Because this is your job, guys. Where
go right. Go right. Right.
It's like when you go to the Claremont.
Always right.
And you're like, oh, yes, he's moving me. All right.
Always right.
Always right. All right, I'm going to the right, because if you go left, you're wrong, right?
There you go.
All right. And the winner is Share Gudgel. Can we get up close? Woo! Share Gudgel is the winner. Do we see that? All right, Share Gudgel.
Yeah.
It's SHER Gudgal. Maybe it's Share Gudgal. Share Gudgal is the winner of the free consultation. All you got to do, share, is drop pizza a line, and we will set that up for you. Congratulations. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, why don't you tell everybody what to do? Call our telephone number, because we're going to be answering their immigration questions very shortly.
Yes, everybody on Facebook. First things first, you already know you have to share. You can just click on that little arrow, share it to anybody's page, share it to any inboxes or any group that you think might benefit from this. But now what it's time to do is you guys have to start your watch parties. You already know how to do this. This is a very, very important thing.
Yo-Yo, you're not coming in clear. You got to get that mic right into your mouth.
Listen, how about now?
Now I hear you.
Click on share, okay, and then click on watch party, host the watch party. It's very easy. When you do that, it actually puts this video on your page. You are the host. Let everybody know about the show. Tell them to come into the comments so they can put in their questions as well. Everybody throw in your comments and your questions.
I have a public service announcement for Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo, between now and our next show, I give you permission to buy a new microphone and invoice the show. Thank you.
Okay.
Continue, Yo-Yo.
All right. I'm going to do it.
Hashtag best boss. Hashtag best boss.
Right.
Awesome.
One. Only one microphone, not two. One.
I'm going to get the best one.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, yes, make sure you put all your comments and questions in the comment section right now, because we're going to be doing our asking the questions right after this segment. And Vanessa, what are we going to be doing on YouTube?
Okay, team, on YouTube, you should have already subscribed. We have seen those thumbs up going up, and I know that there's still more viewers on you guys. This helps us grow our following. This helps us get all this great information out to so many more people. On YouTube, you can also share, so make sure you share this post. This is the point in time where people want to get on, because Brad is about to get on the lines and answer your immigration questions. And people need to know that this is what we're doing here. We are just overwhelming y'all with all the information that you're outsourcing. Why outsource when Brad has it all right here? So we just picked our winner for our free consultation. Guys, you can have the one-on-ones with Brad. And hey, you know what? Like, you can actually get that for free. If you want to know how, on Instagram. And if you don't have an Instagram, create an account now, you guys. Every time that you share this opportunity, you have to find Dancing Brad on our Instagram, which is @BradShowLive, and you just have to go onto that post and tag 5 friends. If you want to enter your name twice into the wheel, add 5 more friends. Every time you share with your friends, as many friends as you want, we will add your name multiple times into that wheel, where you can get a free consultation with Brad. Free! Okay, guys, this is a $200 value. Absolutely free. Our phone lines are open. Don't know the phone number, 1-800-599-5465. Dial in, because you are about to, what are we about to do, Yo-Yo?
We are about to have you guys call in and get your answers to your immigration questions.
All righty. We have a couple of lines open right now, so if Julian, you can pull out Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head. There I am. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's body. You can call 1-800-529-5465 right now. Ahmed has been waiting 50 minutes for this call. Ahmed, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
I come to United States with fiancé visa, K visa.
Great.
That was August 1st, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I married after 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
Since this date until now, I didn't make my adjustment status.
Why?
status and didn't apply for any immigration paper because my wife wasn't supporting me to do that on purpose.
Why on
she
purpose?
was try to not put her name on any paper, formal paper for me.
Why?
For example, she refused to support me at a bank to get my credit card, refused to put me on her tax, refused to put me in her medical insurance.
Why?
Why? That because she had a bad history with her ex-husband because she bring him to United States and make paper for him and married him for 15 years. After that, he take everything and divorce her. So all she want to bring me here and put me in home and be like babysitter for her 6 kids, be her lover into the home only. All these 10 months we married, anyone ask her who with you, she say he my friend. Even we married.
Is there any physical abuse?
Sorry, sir?
It sounds like there's emotional abuse.
Yes.
Is there
yes,
physical
and
abuse?
I have other problem. Before I come to United States, I was in Egypt. I was working a bedroom gas company. I have good career there.
You, Ahmed.
I lost all of that.
Is there physical abuse?
Yes.
Okay.
That not by hitting me, but
all right. So there's emotional abuse. Okay. So these are the choices in life that you have. Okay. You can, go to some sort of counseling with your wife and figure out how to work things out. That's number one. You can, two, leave your wife. Okay. If you're unhappy, you can leave her. And then at that point, you would have 2 choices. You can go back to Egypt. No one's stopping you from doing that. Or you can file for your adjustment of status based on extreme emotional abuse. If we can prove, your extreme emotional abuse, your abuse rises to that level. So it sounds like you're going to need a consultation. But those would be your options. I mean, you can't force her to file papers for you, but also nobody's putting handcuffs on you and shackling you to the bed. So those would be your options. So hold on 1 second, and we'll see what we can do to help you. Okay?
May I add something, sir?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
She asked for divorce now, and she already hired lawyer to make divorce.
Okay.
And he prepared the paper.
You can still do an abuse case if there is in fact extreme emotional abuse. So let's talk about
sorry, I know you have limit time, but I add something. She was I have cancer, and when I come to United States, I must follow with doctor, and I ask her many times to put me on her medical. She refused, and we go to doctor for this.
All of this is that could be extreme emotional abuse. Knowing you have cancer, knowing she can give you medical insurance, her refusing to do it, that's very, very, that's cruel. All right.
So you think, sir, maybe for little percent, I have good chance to make VAWA?
I think it's worth certainly another conversation, and I think certainly there's something there, and we got to explore it. I can't tell you right now, 10%, 50%, I have no idea, but I think it's certainly worth exploring. So hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, let's go to John in Endicott, New York.
Hey.
John, how are you?
Hey, John. Hey, John. Hi. Hey, Brad. How you doing?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. I was detained in immigration for over a year. Just got released over a month ago. I filed I-130. My wife filed for me. My case was not on time, so the judge ordered me deported. I appealed the judge's decision in the BIA. Now the BIA dismissed my appeal, saying that whatever the case may be. But now I'm in the Second Circuit. I'm asking, can I file? Since I'm in the Second Circuit, can I file the 485 since I'm in the Second Circuit?
No, if you've been ordered deported and you're appealing that order of deportation, you can't file an adjustment while you have an final order of deportation. The only reason you haven't been
Yeah.
deported is because your case is still on appeal. But you got to win the appeal first. You got to win the appeal first.
Yeah, but I was released on a habeas corpus.
I
That's why
understand
I
that.
was.
The reason why you were released on a habeas corpus is because, if your deportation isn't imminent, they can't hold you forever unless you have
Okay.
some underlying criminal record. So they released you, but you still can't.
No, I don't have no criminal.
I said because you probably don't have a criminal record. They released you because your deportation's not imminent because you have this, appeal pending. But until you win the appeal, you can't do an adjustment.
Oh, thank you, sir.
All right, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to MEI-LING in Torrance, California. MEI-LING.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
Hi, how are you, MEI-LING?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my question.
Yes.
So I'm just filed a Form 130 for my mom.
Great.
And when I file, her status is married. However, this month, my stepdad, who is a U.S. citizen, want to proceed filing the divorce for my mom. They're supposed to do it a long time ago because he sponsored her once and she didn't pass. So my question is that should I do something to explain that?
It's not going to affect. It's not going to affect your immigration case for her. Where is she?
She's in Vietnam.
Okay, so it will not affect if he divorces her here in America. It will not affect her immigration case. But for when the divorce is final, make sure you get a copy of it, and then at that point, either with the I-130, if the I-130 is still pending, you would want to notify immigration at that point, or if the I-130 is approved and you're at the National Visa Center, notify the National Visa Center that she's since divorced. But it will not affect the processing of her case. Just let them know when the divorce.
But do you think that when she gets an interview, they would question her second marriage, that whether it's real or not, and because she didn't pass, she failed the interview when he sponsored.
Okay.
That's the thing I'm afraid.
They can always question the bona fides of the marriage. Now, there's two different concepts here. Okay. The only way that you can be denied your green card is if the government says you entered into a business marriage. Okay. They have to have evidence of that. They have to have evidence that you entered into a business marriage. Other than that, you can't be denied for misrepresentation. That's a big difference between saying you entered into a business marriage versus you showing up at an interview and you can't prove to the satisfaction of the government that you're in a real marriage. Just because you can't prove that you're in a real marriage doesn't necessarily mean it's a business marriage. I mean, you may have been in a marriage for love, you just didn't bring any documents with you. You may have been in a marriage for love and, your husband screwed it up for some reason. There's 100 reasons why, you couldn't prove it was a real marriage, then that logically doesn't mean it's absolutely a business marriage. You can't prove it's a real marriage and the government can't prove it's a business marriage. It's, stuck in the middle. So, depends what happened at that interview. Hello? What happened to MEI-LING? We lost her. MEI-LING, did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, did you hear the whole thing?
Yes. Okay. I would just, I think that most likely they're going to question because they're going to question, like, why they didn't proceed, why they didn't, do anything. We didn't do anything and why into now since 2006.
It's possible that they could always question the marriage, but as long as there's some evidence to show it was a real marriage, I think that's really all.
That's the toughest one because they haven't seen each other since 2006, and there's just like a lot of miscommunication, and I feel like this case probably gonna.
Well, if you're nervous,
my mom's gonna fail again.
If you're nervous about that, then let's have a consultation about it. What I can say is that unless they have evidence that it's a business marriage, they're gonna have a hard time saying business marriage just because you failed your interview.
Right. And meanwhile, if the case got approved, and let's say, her, I don't know how long I will have the proof of divorce, and if she, by the time that she go to the interview, and if she doesn't have that proof,
That's fine. She could
then
be married still.
that's fine,
she could
right?
be
Just
divorced. It doesn't matter.
what would we say to them? Like, oh, she divorced, or just
Well,
keep it fine?
if they ask her, "Are you still married to your husband?" the answer would be yes. We're going through a divorce. It's not final yet.
I see.
And if
Got
you're
you.
divorced, yes, I'm divorced. Here's the divorce decree.
I see. All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Brad.
Okay,
I appreciate you a lot.
And if you have issues, hold on one second, okay? Let's go to Kai in Chicago. Kai.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, how are you?
I have a like old removal order, and my wife, she has a asylum court coming up in like 2 months, and her lawyer told her that she has a very good chance to win her asylum.
Great.
Asylum, but my question is as her husband, can I join her case and get the asylum status as well?
You would have to reopen your deportation case first.
First, I need to reopen my deportation case?
Correct. So if she wins her case, then you can reopen your deportation case because you would be eligible to live here with her because you were married to her before she was granted her asylum.
Then, I need to after if I able to open my deportation case, we need to file I-130 or just adjust. How are we gonna adjust it?
She would be you would be included on her asylum. So what would happen is after she's granted her asylum, you would make a motion to reopen your case because you're a spouse of somebody who was granted asylum, and if you're able to reopen the case, then that's wonderful. You're no longer here under an order of deportation, and 12 months after her grant of asylum, you all just file adjustment applications.
Like 485, right?
Correct.
That application?
Correct.
Also, one more thing. Like a month ago, I won a green card lottery. Do I have a real chance to claim my lottery?
No, because you would have to go home and then you would self-deport.
Yeah, I talked to one lawyer and he told me that he can open my case and he can get a voluntary departure from the judge and I can go to my home country.
Yeah,
is it realistic or?
That it's plausible. Is it realistic? I don't know, but it's certainly plausible. I would wait on your wife's asylum. That to me is a stronger case. And where did you apply for asylum? Is that why you got?
Yeah, I applied asylum 12 years ago.
So then, think about it logically, Kai. All right. Let's assume your lawyer is correct. Let's assume he can reopen your case and ask for voluntary departure and for you to leave to pick up your green card. But you applied for asylum saying my life's in danger if I go back to my home country.
Yeah.
All right. So now all of a sudden, okay, because you could get a green card in your home country. Wow, my life's no longer in danger. I want to go back and get my green card. They would call you the biggest liar in America. You and Donald Trump, liar number one and Trump liar number two.
Yeah,
so
I understand that. The good thing is for green card processing, my country, the embassies, they don't process. They can process in the other countries.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small country.
All right.
So they process in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, it's possible then. But my advice would be to try with the asylum first.
Is it?
Because you said she's going for an interview in 2 months, or her final interview is in 2 months, or final.
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. If you have.
How long it might take to adjust to open my deportation case and adjustment so then get my work permit?
Years.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right. Let's go to Nick in Philadelphia. Nick.
Hi, Brad. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for everything that you do.
My pleasure.
I have a question. I got my 10-year green card in 2013 after a very abusive marriage. And 9 months after I got my green card, we separated. I got my divorce, and then I moved on. In 2015, I got married again. But fast forward now in March of 2020, I applied for my citizenship. I want to know if this would have any impact on my citizenship interview. Because during to get my 10-year green card, they called us for an interview and they separated us and asked questions, and it matched up, and I got my 10-year green card. But they were basically alleging that my marriage was fake because somebody complained.
But everything matched up, so you were good.
But they were like, well, we got a tip that you paid some money and blah blah blah.
Nick,
which was
Nick, you passed your interview. It was a real marriage. So unless secretly in your heart of hearts you know you have something to hide, then you got nothing to worry about.
No, I have nothing to hide.
So then it was a real marriage. It's a real marriage. You passed your interview. End of story.
So, I mean, what impact would it have on my citizenship application, Brad? My citizenship interview.
Other than they may question whether you were in a real marriage, and you're telling me you're in a real marriage and you passed your interview, who cares? That's it. They may question it. Tell us more about your marriage. But it was a real marriage. You passed your interview, so I don't know what there is to worry about.
Will they ask for documents from the previous marriage and stuff?
It's possible. I doubt it, because you don't have to prove a bona fide marriage to get your green card. You're basically not having a green card for 5 years. So you don't have to prove that. But yeah, can they ask you that? If they think there was fraud in your marriage case, yes. But outside of that, no, it's not going to be an issue. And you're telling me there's no fraud in your marriage case, so then what I'm telling you is you got nothing to worry about. Just, if they ask you, they ask you. So what?
No, I'm just asking because under the current climate, they tend to. I heard they tend to make things very intimidatory.
They absolutely do. That's why I always suggest go with a lawyer. But if you're asking me, is that going to be a problem with you becoming a citizen? No. But yes, they can intimidate you. Yes, there's lots of things they can do in this current climate. They're looking to deny every person who walks into immigration.
Another quick question was, I applied in March, and I haven't gotten any notices for a fingerprint or anything. And when I checked,
this coronavirus is a little better, but hopefully they're using your old fingerprints that they have. If they have your old fingerprints, they're going to use them, and they're not going to call you for new ones.
Oh, really? So I can expect an interview letter without even getting a fingerprint letter?
Yeah, because they're using old fingerprints if they have them on file.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know about it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Brad.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Ruhel in Astoria. Ruhel.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I'm all good. Thank you. I have a quick question for you. I was arrested 6 years ago for the controlled substance in New York. And I received ACD, and case was dismissed after 6 months.
You got an ACD?
I'm planning to... Yes.
Okay.
The case was dismissed after 6 months, and also I did the community service one day. I'm planning to apply for citizenship. Do you think I have any problem with it?
If you have an ACD, you don't have a problem. You don't have a criminal record.
It was cocaine. That's why I'm a little worried about it.
Yeah, but if the case was ultimately dismissed, you're okay.
But if I do the community service or anything like that, is a conviction for immigration purpose or anything like that?
You have an ACD?
Yes. ACD 170.
If it's ACD, adjourned in contemplation dismissal, that is not a criminal record for immigration purposes.
But do you think they're going to ask me about this?
Did this happen in the last 5 years? Absolutely, they're going to ask you. Did this happen in the last 5 years?
No, this happened almost 6 years.
Okay,
6
yeah,
years
it
ago.
happened more than 5 years ago. They don't have a right to ask you for moral character. They only have a right to ask you because you always can be placed in deportation if you're a suspected drug dealer. So they may ask you questions about what happened with you with this arrest. They may even ask for the charging documents. Perhaps there's evidence that you were selling drugs. Then, they could always put you in deportation for that. But they would need the cop to come and testify and prove that you were selling drugs, and they couldn't even prove it in a criminal case. So how would they prove it here? So, I don't think you have much to worry about, but, what the only thing I could possibly think that could hinder you, but if whenever you have an arrest, it's always good to go with a lawyer.
Yeah, it's also sealed. The record is sealed.
Okay. All right, hold on. So maybe you just want to go with a lawyer, make sure you answer the questions right. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Sam in Sacramento. Sam.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Actually, I have a quick question. I came into the country 2018, September, with a conditional green card. And we've been married for like a year. We got married 2017, and I came in 2018. And we lived together for a few months, like 9 months. So we got separated for like a year, and now we're actually about divorce. So we're actually he's at the court right now. During the course of the wedding, we lived together for a few months. While we live together, we have the same what they call it, and fortunately, we have a baby in the process of the marriage. But my question is, I'm going to remove a condition from my green card. I'll be due for September 12th this year, and now I want to know what I have, since we are still in the divorce process. And I've gotten all the necessary papers document I needed to back up the bona fide of the marriage.
You're going to file an I-751 based on a bona fide marriage. It's ending in divorce.
Okay.
You're going to submit, You're going to submit whatever evidence you have that the divorce is in process, along with a copy of the birth certificate of your child to prove it's a bona fide marriage.
Yeah, I have all
the
that.
other documents, and you're going to get an RFE, request for further evidence, for the divorce judgment, and that's going to be months and months and months from September, and hopefully by that time you're divorced.
Okay, so can I go ahead with the removal procedure? With the paperwork now, and still okay.
You have to.
And I want to know, how long would it take for them to issue me an extension?
Within a couple.
Because I don't want to.
Within a couple weeks.
Well, within a couple of weeks.
Yes. All right. So now is the time to file, and you'll get an extension, and you'll submit it with whatever documents you have for the divorce.
I have.
And hopefully by the time they ask you for the divorce judgment, you're divorced. And if you need help, hold on one second. Let's go to Lisa in Pensacola, Florida. Lisa.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's going
on? I have a question. I have my 10-year green card that I got this year, but I'm currently filing for unemployment. Would that affect me in any way?
Nope.
And also, when I become a citizen, I want to file for my family back home. But my mother's name, her first name was spelled wrong on my birth certificate. And that's the name that I use for my visa and my green card process. Would that cause a problem?
Well, you may have to give an affidavit explaining why the name is spelled wrong, and hopefully they accept it. And if they don't accept it, then what will eventually happen is you're going to prick your finger for blood. Your mom will prick her finger for blood, and the DNA will match, and she'll prove she's the mother.
Okay, because I didn't realize until way back then,
Usually when it's like a letter off, you can just do it by an affidavit and they accept it. Sometimes they ask for a DNA. If it's a completely different name, then they'll definitely ask for a DNA.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on how much of a difference it is.
Because they added an extra letter in her name, so it's a whole new name.
Yeah, so, you do it by affidavit and hope for the best, and if not, then you'll do a DNA test.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to Chris in Charlotte, North Carolina. Chris.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for what you're doing. Really appreciate your work. I have a quick question, Brad. I filed my I-360 in 2018, in October 2018, and I filed my I-485 in the same time. And my I-360 got approved in March this year, 2020, sorry. March 24th, 2020, my I-360 got approved. And I got initial grant of deferred action notice as well. Mm-hmm. Can you explain me what is that? And my I-485 is still in pending.
Well, your I-360, what it means is that they approved the fact that you were in a bona fide marriage with your wife, and that you were an abused spouse, and that you're a person of good moral character, and that's the I-360 approval. And when they give you the deferred prosecution, what they're saying is, no matter what, we promise not to deport you.
Oh, okay.
And now you have a pending I-45, which is for your adjustment, and eventually you'll get an interview, and hopefully all goes well, and you get your green card.
And is it safe to travel right now on this time?
Travel where?
Outside the UNSS to India, my country.
If you have advanced parole, but
yes,
I would not travel at this moment. Not because of immigration, but because of coronavirus, because Trump's crazy, and
Yeah, I got it.
maybe you go to India. In India, there's a big spike of coronavirus right now, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he says people on advance parole can't come back. So I'd be concerned about traveling, and then all of a sudden they change the rules while you're out of the country. So,
Oh, sure.
So I would stay here temporarily at least and see how things go.
So how long is it going to take? Do you have any idea? I mean, for the interview?
This guy knows. You see this? Are you watching my show? The Magic 8 Ball knows the answer. When?
Oh, okay.
When will Chris from Charlotte get his interview? Will it be this year? It says Magic 8 Ball says you can rely on it being this year. It says you can rely on it.
Okay.
So this year sometime.
Oh,
Hopefully.
sure. And one last question, Brad. To give visa to my parents, can I able to do it right now at this moment?
No, you don't give visas to anybody. The U.S. Embassy gives visas.
Yeah, I mean to file. Can I file?
No, you cannot file anything until you're a citizen for your parents. Can your parents go apply for a visitor's visa? Yes. Are they going to get it right now in the coronavirus pandemic? Absolutely, they won't get it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Brad.
All right. Let's go to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Emily in Graham, North Carolina. Emily.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Brad.
How are you?
I'm trying to be okay. My question is a financial assistance form a public charge?
Financial assistance for what?
It has to do with healthcare, like at the hospital or whatever, whichever healthcare. They give you a form that you filled out, and it lasts only for 6 months.
Well, if they're just giving you like discounted rates out of the goodness of their heart, that's not Medicaid. If the federal government is paying for your medical services, then that's a different story.
Oh, so it won't affect my green card issue?
No. So in other words, if some hospitals say, well, if you can't afford to pay this fee, we'll take this fee, and that's fine. If it's a situation where they're like, apply for Medicaid, and Medicaid will pay your fee, then with a green card, you could still do it. It's just, if you want to file for somebody else in the future, you're going to have a problem.
Oh, okay. So what if I
So in other words, green card holder, go get Medicaid. Okay. By the way, there's two issues with a green card holder getting Medicaid. One is I've never seen it happen in my entire life, but then again, everything I've seen in 2020, I haven't seen happen. So who the hell knows what'll happen in the future? I've never seen the federal government go after anybody who signed an affidavit of support because their loved one applied for Medicaid. Now, is that possible under Donald Trump in the future? Absolutely. I can't guarantee you he won't.
Okay.
But that's the person who signed the affidavit of support. But as far as you getting Medicaid, it doesn't affect your green card. The only thing it would affect is if you want to apply for somebody in the future.
Okay, because right now I'm planning on giving you a call concerning me and my daughter. See, my husband is already a U.S. citizen from here. So we'll be giving you a call in the next 2-3 months. But in my mind, I was just more worried about the form concerning the healthcare which I filled out for 6 months concerning my health issues.
I don't understand what your concern is. Concern is what?
Okay, the form has to do at the hospital, like if you get a certain amount of bills, you fill out a form.
You're talking about filing for who?
Okay, my husband will be filing for me and my 16-year-old daughter.
Didn't you just tell me that you have a green card?
No. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, then it's a completely different story. If you don't have a green card and you got Medicaid from the government, that's a problem. Okay, I don't know what financial assistance you got. So you need to show it. You would need to show it to me, and then I can tell you.
Okay, we were planning to give you a call
have a consultation so I can see exactly what you're talking about. Hold on.
So you understand better. Okay.
All right. I assumed you had a green card. I gave you an answer as if you had a green card. My apologies. John in Birmingham, Alabama. John.
Hey, Bob.
How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
Fair. What's up?
Yeah. Thank you for your good job, first of all.
Thank you.
Thank
you. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen, and I got the I-130 approved since just in February.
Right.
But in the meantime, I had some changes on my file. My wife, she got about So we have a kid.
You're
And now
the U.S. citizen filing for your wife, or your wife's filing for you?
I am a U.S. citizen filing for my wife.
Okay, where is she?
She's in Africa now.
Okay, and you have a child together?
Yeah, the
And
child is in Africa.
The child was born in Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, so that child should be a U.S. citizen. You should be able to bring that child into the U.S. Embassy and get that child a U.S. passport.
Yeah, so I'm gonna apply for the passport and
let me ask you a question though. When that child was born, you were a U.S. citizen.
I was already.
Okay, and you've been living in the United States at least the last 5 years.
For 6 years.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so the child's a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, my question is because right now, it's really difficult to go apply for to get an appointment to go to apply for the passport and everything for the child. But right now, I'm filling out the NVC document.
Right.
But I have question because should I include the child in the affidavit of support?
If you support the child, yes, that's somebody you support.
Okay, so I'm going to put 2 people. I mean, which means only 3 people.
Yes.
Okay, on the aisle 864. What should I answer if my spouse because my spouse is already because I'm a U.S. citizen? There's a question on a DS260 where they're asking if you guys are moving are you guys moving to U.S. together? It's a yes or no, or somebody's going to join another one. I'm kind of confused because it doesn't give me an option to say.
These are questions your spouse should be answering. So it's not you. So put it into the shoes of your spouse. The question is something to the effect: are you joining somebody in the United States? Yes, my husband.
The question is, are you guys moving?
The question is not, are you guys? There's no question, are you guys? All of the questions are designed to be answered by your wife. And the question is something to the effect, who are you coming to join in America? And the answer is my U.S. citizen husband, John, in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. What should I answer?
This is not a show how to fill out John's forms. Hold on 1 second. I'll help you off the air. Other than that, let's do Bradshaw Live, how to fill out John's forms. Let's go to Charlie in Clifton, New Jersey. Charlie.
Hi, hello?
Good. Charlie, what's up?
Yeah, good afternoon, Uncle Brad. So I have a nephew that is working under C category approved VAWA, but he's currently being paid in cash. They're not giving him a check. Would that affect him at the I-45 interview for good moral character?
Well, he's got to file a tax return at the end of the year and claim he's an independent contractor and declare the cash, and then he's the person of good moral character.
Okay, so he can just go ahead and work on that part.
Yeah, and just file on his own at the end of the year. I get paid in cash.
Okay, but the thing is, his interview might be before the end, before January, because his card was, he had an approved case.
Right. Well, if that's
January
the case,
passed.
then he's not due to file tax returns till next year.
Okay, but that would not affect him at the I-45 interview.
No, because he hasn't done anything wrong.
Oh, okay.
All right? As long as he's filing his taxes based on every penny he earns, he's done nothing wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay. Let's go to Fatu in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Fatu.
Hi, Brenda. This is Fatu.
Yes.
I have a question. My husband came in U.S. 2002, and he was trying to bring me in U.S., and one of his friends won a lottery ticket to come in U.S. Then my husband made me to go marry that man so that he can be able to bring me to him.
Whoa. Your husband sent another man for you to marry another man so you can come join your husband?
Yeah, one of his friends told my husband that we can make fake marriage so that he can bring me.
Fatu.
Yes.
All right. I assume you're a half a smart lady, right? At least half a smart lady.
Yes.
Okay, why would you come on my show and just tell me about a business marriage you entered into and tell the world? Why would you do that? You just admitted to committing a crime. You want to admit to robbing a bank, murdering somebody, being part of
No.
Jeffrey Epstein's entourage? What else would you like to admit to?
Sorry about that.
All right, no, you're not sorry about me. I'm sorry for you. I think you need a personal, one-on-one, confidential consultation. Hold on one second. Let's go to Abdullah in Phoenix, Arizona. Abdullah.
Hello, how you doing, Mr. Brett?
How are you?
I love your show, by the way,
Thank
man.
you.
I have a question for you. So, I'm from Iraq, and I came here in 2001 because of my dad. My dad's an embassy, and we never.
What do you mean your dad's at embassy? Your dad worked for
He
the embassy?
worked in the embassy.
Okay, so
yeah,
they
he
gave
worked
him
for
a
them.
visa to come here. Okay.
Yeah, he came. He came here through a visa, and
Okay. What was your
we just
visa?
never got.
What was your visa that you came here on?
I do not know. It was an embassy visa. It was the same visa as his. It's a G visa. Yeah.
Right, so you
with a
worked.
G
Your
visa.
dad worked for the Iraqi government.
Yeah,
he
did.
Your dad didn't work at the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. Your dad was.
No.
Your dad was a diplomat.
Yes, he was a
Okay, all right,
diplomat.
because
Yeah.
those were two different things. Okay, so your dad comes
Yeah.
here on a diplomat. It's either a G or an A visa, and this was in 2001. This was right before.
No. I'm sorry. Not 2001. I apologize. It was after. It was after all. It was after 2003. After when the troopers came to Iraq and invaded Iraq.
So this was not. He did not work as a diplomat under the Saddam Hussein regime, the
Correct.
future regime. Okay,
Correct,
and
yeah.
where is your dad now?
My dad is here, and we just never went back because they threatened us, and we got letters if we come back.
Did you ever
'Cause
file
you know
for
how
asylum?
it is. He did. We did file asylum, and we got a lawyer, not a good lawyer, but he said that he gave us he was like, you guys not going to win the case. The only thing you guys could do is just live here with work permits, for the rest of our lives.
So you got withholding of removal?
No, we didn't. Yes, we did.
You
yes.
got withholding of
The case-
removal. Right, so you lost
Yes,
your
okay.
asylum, but you got withholding of removal, which is the government says, yes, your life's in danger, we're not going to deport you. You didn't prove
Right.
asylum, but we realize your life's in danger, so we're not going to deport you, get a work permit. Okay, and now your question is what?
Now, here's my question. Now, my sister is a U.S. citizen, by the way. She was born here, and my brother is a U.S. citizen. They were both born in New York City, but my sister is giving adjustment to them, which is I-485 for my mom and dad.
Correct.
And me.
No, not for
No.
you. Not for you.
Not for me.
No,
So
just for
that's
mom
what I
and
was.
dad. Just for mom and dad. The only thing you can do would be if you were to marry an American citizen in a bona fide marriage, you would be able to adjust your status. Otherwise, anything else you do would require you to go back to Iraq, and your life's in danger in Iraq.
I can't go back to Iraq because they will kill me if I go back to Iraq.
Right. Now you can conceivably have your mother and father file an I-130 visa petition for you after they get their green cards, get that approved, wait on the waiting list for 5 or 6 years. Then at that point, when you become eligible for your green card, file a motion to reopen your case, your deportation case, so you can leave the country and you don't leave under an order of deportation. Do a provisional waiver so you can return and ask for a third country like Canada or Mexico to process your green card so you don't have to go back to Iraq. So, there's a pathway. It's a complicated pathway, but conceivably there's a pathway for you to get your green card that way. But if you're, all I can tell you is if you fall in love, make sure they're an American, and then that would be faster.
That'll be so. I do have a girlfriend, but I love her and everything. But we are getting married actually. But now, with that being said,
Is she a U.S. citizen?
Yes, she is a U.S.
So then
citizen. Now she could fix me.
So Abdullah, this is what you do. Okay, sometimes in life you got to speed things up because of the situation you're in. So, it'd be nice, if you want to wait 3 more years, but if you're in love and you're getting married, go buy a ring and go do it so you can straighten out your immigration.
Now, just a question. Now, if when you get married, I don't have to go back. I don't have to go to Mexico. I could just stay here.
You would have to file an I-130 visa petition. This would be the process.
Okay.
You would file an I-130 visa petition, prove it's a bona fide marriage, get the I-130 visa petition approved. Then you have to request when you file the I-130 visa petition a bona fide marriage exemption. Other than that, it'll be denied, so make sure you do that. And then once the I-130 is approved, make a motion to reopen your case. Let the judge reopen your case, show back up to court, ask the judge to adjust your status based on the approved I-130. The judge should say yes. The judge should terminate your deportation and allow you to file your adjustment. So it would be that process.
Okay. But I could still now apply for my work permit, correct?
You can continue to work, continue for your work permit because you have withholding of removal, even after you marry, even if you file the I-130.
Yeah, because they're talking about reopening the case and that could deport me.
Reopening the case, you only reopen the case after you get the I-130 approved. Remember the order I told you? Because if you reopen the case beforehand, yes, it's possible you get deported. Okay, so you get the I-130 approved, then reopen the case. And if you need help, call me. Hold on one second. All right, and with that, what was that? All right, so meanwhile, this was actually a good segue from Abdullah because he was concerned about getting deported. In today's Braducation, I answer the question, can I ever come back to the United States after I've been deported? Let's check it out. If you were deported one time from the United States, there is a waiver for that. You may be eligible to re-enter the United States. If you were deported and you tried to re-enter the United States without permission and got deported a second time, there may not be a waiver for that. Now, there's also the underlying reason why you were deported. Were you deported because you just overstayed on your visa or were living here illegally? Were you deported at the airport for making a misrepresentation? Were you deported for an underlying criminal offense? And how serious was that criminal offense? All of those need to be evaluated before anybody, including myself, can make a determination whether or not you can re-enter the United States after a prior deportation. But is it possible? In many instances, yes. All right, so later in the show, I'm going to be speaking to Abdi Nor Iftin. He's a Somalian refugee who is now a United States citizen, and he risked his death in order to let the world know what was happening in his home country. But right now, I got to join Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, and Vanessa Ness-quick. We have something we like to call social media check-in. What's going on in social media check-in?
Oh, man.
What's so funny? What's so funny? Fill me in.
Nothing. You were just, what was not funny was how great you answered all those immigration questions, Brad. You are...
Something was funny. Nobody's filling me in. Everybody jokes behind my back. All right. What do we got for social media check-in?
The squad caught it.
What? What?
The squad got it. Nothing. Jonathan's ready for us now.
That's all that matters.
All right.
If y'all can hear him, clap twice. All right. All right. First question is, my question is, my husband's birth certificate spelled Dairy, D-A-R-R-Y, and it's actually spelled Daryl, D-A-R-R-Y-L. So his state ID spelled it wrong, and the marriage license is okay. All the other documents spelled Daryl the right way. So now the court date is May 4th. To change his name because of Corona, he hasn't heard from them. So they're asking if he can send it to immigration, just like he was born at Kings County. Sorry, I'm trying to reword it.
Yeah, submit it with an affidavit, just like I answered before. Submit it with an affidavit from people proving Dari and Daryl are the same person. I mean, there's a little more to it than just I'm submitting it and what the hell. You're going to need probably, 2 or 3 people to give affidavits that Darry and Daryl are the same person, and you'll have to give an affidavit saying you're in the process of correcting your birth certificate, but in the meantime, it shouldn't prohibit you from getting married and filing for your wife.
Next one says, hi, Brad. I have a pending judiciary review case again on the 9th Circuit on my asylum case, and I am married to a U.S. citizen. Can I file for both my I-130 and I-145
you have to file
together?
the I-130 first, get it approved, and then make a motion to reopen your removal case with the Board of Immigration Appeals.
Our next one comes from Stephanie Momo saying, hello, I'm a U.S. citizen living in the U.S. for more than 6 years now. I'm in process to bring my family to live with me in the U.S. Please answer this question. My child is born after the I-130 for my wife is, so I guess the child was born after the I-130 was for the wife was approved. Now they're filing out the NBC documents DS-260 and the I-864. And since I'm going to file for the CRBA, the consular report and passport.
I think I spoke to this guy, and I told him his son's a U.S. citizen. Is that the same question?
So they have about 3 questions. Should I include that?
Yeah, this was the question where I told them.
Is it the same one?
We don't fill out forms here on Brancher Live. But
oh gosh,
go answer the question.
Okay, let me real quick. Should I include the child in the affidavit of support for the I-864?
Yes, this is the same guy, but we'll answer it anyway.
Okay.
Yes. Continue.
What should I answer if your spouse is already a U.S. citizen living in the U.S.? Are you moving with your spouse?
Because I explained to him the question's not related to you. The questions are.
I remember
to your wife, right? So in other words, it's asking the wife who's in Africa, are you coming to live with your spouse? The answer is yes, because all these questions are about your wife, not about you. That's where he was getting confused.
Okay.
All right. Ness-quick.
Okay, this one comes from Yibasan, and they say, hi, Uncle Brad. God bless you for the good that you're doing. My friend was married to a U.S. citizen since August 2019, and they don't know what the documents they need to file their papers to USCIS.
Well, you need an I-485, an I-130, I-130A, the I-864, the I-131, the I-765, the I-944. Those are all the forms, plus proof you're in a legal marriage, plus 3 years tax returns, job letter, bank letter. Maybe you need a consultation.
Okay, Petronella saying, hey, Uncle Brad, asking for a friend. If her daughter's...
I think I said 944, 934.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Petronella is asking for a friend. If her daughter is filing for her, but she has lost her job and wants to file unemployment, will that affect her filing? Is that a public charge?
It's not a public charge, but it'll affect the filing in the sense that the petition is not working anymore, so you'll probably need a second affidavit of support.
Alrighty, this one comes from Saliuba, and they say, hi, Brad. I have my wife in the States since March. She got her green card for almost 3 months, but not her social security card, and I want to file taxes, but I don't know how. I don't know how.
All right.
Can you help?
Yeah, she has a green card, but no social security? Is that what she's saying? Was that what they're saying?
Yeah, she has not received her social security.
She should get it shortly, but in the meantime, file your 1040 and attach a W-7 for a taxpayer identification number, which will give her a temporary taxpayer ID. And when she gets her social security number, you'll then respond to the IRS and say, here's her real social security number. But you'll attach a W-7 for a temporary taxpayer ID.
All right, Dee saying, I applied for an extension of I-94 and was approved. I'm filing the I-485. It asks for date of arrival on I-94 and the date it expires. Should I put the date of the previous I-94 or the approved I-94 extension?
The date of the previous I-94 is the date of your arrival, and the date of the extension expires is the date of the extension. Of the expiration, excuse me.
Okay, this one comes from Ma Dukes. It says, hi, Brad, my friend who has a green card and not eligible for citizenship until 2024, filed for his son in Jamaica, which was approved, wants to know if his son can finish high school in Jamaica without losing the green card.
Yes, but if you're going to stay out of the country for more than 6 months, do a re-entry permit on a form I-131 before he leaves.
Kenny saying, hey, Brad, I have an approved VAWA, and now my adjustment is in processing. My status online shows that my AOS was transferred to an office in Kansas, Missouri, National Benefits Center from the Vermont Center, and it says it's because of fast processing there. So what should they expect? They were married to a U.S. citizen.
Expect it to process. What do you mean, what should they expect? You'll process you for your green card. You'll do the affidavits of support. You'll submit your police certificate, fill out all the DS forms, and hopefully they'll get a visa appointment soon.
Okay, next one comes from Dennis Chambers, and they ask, good day, Brad. My husband filed for me and my 2 minor sons. My priority date is July 29th, 2019. How long will we have to wait for the interview for a green card holder?
At least till next year, because Trump is barring green card holders from getting green cards, right? From filing for their spouses.
Okay, Eagle RX saying, hey, Brad, well, having deportable crime, which is not aggravated felony or PSC, can make you ineligible for asylum.
You can only not get asylum if you have an aggravated felony. So 1 crime of moral turpitude should be okay.
Okay, this one comes from Donis Robinson, and they ask, I would like to know if it's safe to fly within America on a passport only. Child and I are
gotta be more
staying.
concerned about coronavirus than stopping on a passport right now.
Okay, Princess saying, how do we check the status of spouse status before I can file an annulment or divorce?
What do you mean, how do you file status?
How do you check the status of spouse status before I can file an annulment?
You want to know whether your spouse got a green card?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
You can't unless they give you permission.
Okay.
Okay, the next one comes from Kate Simon, and she says, hi, Brad, good evening. If you have a clean record but was placed under misrepresentation of fraud, is it easier to get a 601 waiver approved? Her husband is a U.S. citizen and she's in another country.
It depends what the fraud is. Yeah, obviously it's harder to get a 601 waiver approved with a fraud and a criminal record. Fraud's enough. It's hard enough to do it. But yeah, hopefully you can get it approved.
Okay, Therese Darku saying, I have a question. I'm married and I'm waiting for a final decision more than 2 years now for the I-130 to be approved. But when the husband filed the petition for the daughter, she approved. But why my husband petitioned me was not approved yet?
What was approved?
So I guess the daughter's petition that the husband filed for her was approved, and she's trying to figure out why hers isn't approved yet, and it's been for 2 years.
Well, if her case hasn't been approved 2 years, then something's screwy.
Right.
So she needs a consultation. Why wasn't approved? I don't have the slightest idea, but we can figure it out. Yeah, you
need a lawyer for that.
Right. Excuse me, Brad. Why wasn't my green card approved from 2 years ago? How would I know?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I have one here from Tunji Oriende, and they say, my cousin applied for an I-765 extension, and due to the coronavirus, he got laid off from his job, and he applied before he was laid off, and he contacted USCIS, and they told him they sent him an initial and additional evidence, which he didn't receive, and now he's been without a job for 2 months, and he doesn't know what the document states. What can be done?
He needs to contact USCIS again and say he still hasn't received it. Fix his mailbox.
All right, Adewale Adams saying, thank you so much for helping a lot of people. My question is, how long does it take for the form I-797C to get approved? Because I'm an asylee waiting for it to be approved since I filed over 6 months.
The I-797C is a receipt notice. How long will it take for your asylum to get approved? Could be months, could be years. People wait years and years. I don't have the slightest idea. I don't know. But it could be months, could be years. But because you filed it more recently, you would figure it's going to be a couple more months, hopefully. All right, Vanessa, last one for right now.
All right, this one's the last one. It's coming from
Yeah.
Maria Catondo, and she says, I'm a green card holder. I am Tanzanian by nationality. I had a plan to visit my country since back in May. Due to COVID-19, it seems like my plans are a dilemma. My father passed away a year ago, and and was not able to attend his funeral, and I did not have either a green card or a travel permit. As days go on, I am getting confused with the travel ban, and would you please advise me if it would be safe for me to travel? I really want to go home and at least see his grave.
She has a green card now?
Yeah, I am a green card holder, she says.
Okay.
Tanzanian nationality.
All right, well, at the moment, there's no ban from Tanzania. So if you can get onto an airplane and go to Tanzania, you can go. You know, my biggest concern, and as a green card holder returning from Tanzania, you can return from Tanzania. My biggest concern is that with Trump, they changed the rules, you know, in a blink of an eye. So my concern is for you twofold. Number one, that you go to Tanzania, that all of a sudden Trump says you can't come from Tanzania anymore while you're there. Now you got a problem. Or number two, you can't get a flight back from Tanzania because all the airlines went bankrupt, or the airlines that fly into Tanzania went bankrupt. So now all of a sudden you're stuck in Tanzania, just not because of immigration, but because there's no airplane. And then all of a sudden you get stuck in Tanzania more than 6 months and you've abandoned your permanent residence. So, you know, those are all and of course, God forbid you get sick going to Tanzania and back. So it's not about the ban, it's about everything else. So if you ask me, is there a ban from Tanzania? No, there's not a ban. Go and come. Will there be a ban when you're there? I don't have the slightest idea. God forbid you get sick. What are you going to do? What happens if the airlines go bankrupt? Okay, so, everything changes on a dime. I'll give you a perfect example. My son was in Israel. Okay? 3 different planes.
Oh, that's right.
3 different planes he was supposed to come back this week. 3 different planes. All got canceled. I bought 3 different plane tickets for this kid. Couldn't get back. On the 4th plane ticket, I got him back, so he's in the air right now. He's literally flying right now. Israel just had a spike in coronavirus. So in the next 2 or 3 days, based on the news reports, they're locking down the country again. You can't come in, you can't go out. I mean, he may have been like one of the last people to leave. And he's an American citizen. How the hell would he have gotten out? I don't know. So, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty in traveling right now, and it goes well beyond immigration.
Right.
So, that's my answer. My opinion at this moment is, unless it's an emergency, stay put. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, if we didn't get your immigration questions answered, you could always follow me on @Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me @Real Brad Bernstein, you can drop me a DM, and I'll be happy to answer your question if you didn't get your questions answered. You can also follow us @Brad Show Live. If you follow us @Brad Show Live and you find Dancing Brad, you can enter into our free consultation contest, and you may be the winner, just like Share, wherever Share's little tag is. Here it is. Who won? It was Share Good Gal won. Also, if you follow Brad Show Live, you can get the best content from Brad Show Live in small little increments. So if you don't want to watch our whole 2-hour show, you get a minute or 2 of us every day. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, you have anything to plug?
Yeah. Well, I'll go first, Yo-Yo, ladies first. Well, guys, you can also follow me on social media @Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
And you guys could all follow me on Instagram and Twitter @Yonathan Elias TV.
All right. What about TikToks?
Oh yeah, TikTok as well.
I'm not a TikTok person. I don't get TikTok, but okay. But if you're a TikTok, I'm tired of watching. Yeah, I upload it, and I'm like, all I see is like teenagers dancing.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, how many different moves could somebody have?
I think you should get
they're
one.
They're making up new ones every day.
Yes, I guess.
Hey, there's tutorials on TikTok. TikTok gets educational. You just have to search the right thing. It's like any other platform.
Right. Maybe we'll go Brad Show Live TikTok. Maybe that's something we got to talk about. But it's not going to be me twerking.
That will go viral.
You'll
Why
dance
not?
like the $200 value consultation, like the free consultation. That's his TikTok.
Meanwhile, the country of Somalia's Independence Day was on Wednesday, July 1st. It's a national holiday that celebrates the unification of the former Italian Somalia and the former British Somaliland in 1960, forming the independent Somali Republic. Unfortunately, through the years, Somalia has been ravaged by drought, famine, coups, war, civil war, and the infiltration of the fundamentalist militant group Al-Shabaab, which has been designated as a terrorist organization by Australia, Canada, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In hopeful news, the World Bank announced in February of this year that it is working towards normalizing relations with the government of Somalia, which will give the country access to financing for development for the first time in 30 years. But it has been a difficult road for the people of Somalia. I recently spoke with Abdi Nor Iftin, a Somalian refugee who is now a United States citizen, a student at Boston College, and the author of Call Me American. Abdi's journey to the United States speaks to his bravery and perseverance, including the fact that while still in Somalia, he filed stories for NPR, risking penalty of death in order to let the world know what was happening in his home country. Let's check it out. Abdi Iftin is from Somalia. He was only 6 years old when it broke out in his country in 1991. When the radical Islamist group Al-Shabaab rose to power in 2006 in Somalia, it became dangerous to celebrate Western culture. But because Abdi had taught himself English, he secretly filed stories for NPR under penalty of death. He stayed in Somalia until he had no choice but to flee to Kenya in 2011. In 2015, he won the visa lottery and immigrated to America. Abdi is currently a student at Boston College, majoring in political science. He is also the author of the memoir, Call Me American, published in June 2018. Abdi just became a citizen on January 17th, 2020. Welcome, Abdi, and congratulations on becoming a U.S. citizen. Thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're originally from Somalia, and you left a war-torn country that's still in civil war to this day. Tell me the earliest memories of you and of growing up in Somalia. What was it like for you?
My earliest memories I could say are bittersweet. They're bitter because, there was all the trauma, the death, the destruction, the displacement, the loss of sense of community, loss of houses, being a homeless as a child with my mother with no hope of a future. It was also sweet because, like every other child on planet Earth, the civil war children of Somalia, including myself, in early 90s, we laughed, we smiled, we had all kinds of fun as we could create anything that could make us stay distracted. Before the war, Somalia was a peaceful country. We had a president who came to power in 1969 and ruled Somalia up until 1991. So what I can remember and the stories I heard from my mother and everything else is we lived a pretty good life.
Is there a connection between the drought, which also happened in Somalia around the time of the Civil War?
The drought came quickly and very fast. Right after the war, we're talking about over 8 million children starving. I was in this number. I was in this statistics. So if you can imagine. And then I lost my own sister who came out to the world when there was nothing for her to eat or to drink, and she quickly, passed on to the next life. I think that somehow the drought is connected to the environment, to the bloodshed, the gunshots, the loss of community. One of the reasons why someone wants to join an army in Somalia with the promise of $50 a month, or, generations moving out, crossing the dangerous journeys across the desert or the oceans to get into Europe or other places.
Describe what starvation was in Somalia for you particularly.
1 out of 6 children were dying, so you never knew if you were next. Here's what a starvation looks like. I was eating leaves from the trees. I could see that my body was eating itself from inside. You can feel all this excruciating pain. One thing I mentioned in my book, which was laying my own sister in her grave and feeling jealous of that. I wanted to be that peaceful. I wanted to go away from this pain And also the moment that knowing that this is permanent, I was not quite sure how we would ever get over this. If this continues like this, I don't want to live one more day. I would rather peacefully die and go to the next life. So that is exactly what it felt like.
How did you keep that will to survive and make it through day by day?
I would not be here today if it was not the intervention of different periods of time from different organizations and governments. I would like to mention the United States Army intervening in Somalia in December 1992 after Bush administration senior realized that millions of kids were starving, including myself. And then they have come and quickly distributed nutritional food, and they opened up all these distribution centers. And I was one of those kids that were in line, and I had my jar full with all this nutritional food, and I'll bring it back to my family. So that way, I was able to come back to life and breathing again and realizing that there is something out there that could help you come over this difficulty. And the Army stuck with us for a little bit. That made me realize America is a land of immigrants. And I, despite where I was born and despite the circumstances and situations that I grew up, this is an idea that I was right to believe in, that anybody has the right to believe in. So, yes.
How did you learn English?
By watching movies. This woman was running a movie theater, and she invited me to clean and take care of the movie theater. As long as I did that, I was able to watch movies for free. The main reason that caused my departure from Somalia was Al-Shabaab. And Al-Shabaab is a radical Islamist group. It's more like ISIS. They want you to leave beliefs and the ideologies that they want. As you can imagine, it's all against anything that I believed in. No music, no movies. You can't go with girls to anywhere. You cannot dress. You can't have your hair cut in any style that you want. Like you cannot do like Michael Jackson. You can have curly hair. As long as you're in Somalia, you don't have work. You don't have any other promises of traveling outside of Somalia, going anywhere else. So they are vulnerable to fall into the arms of Al-Shabaab because Al-Shabaab is promising power, wife, money, and most importantly, they will just make you look like you will go to heaven.
How did you get from Somalia to Kenya? How did that work out? What did you physically have to do? Who brought you there?
I had connected with a group of Americans who came to hear my story on the radio, and they decided to sponsor me and send me some money to buy a ticket. And I flew from Mogadishu, Somalia, into Kampala, Uganda. And then the Ugandians have temporarily arrested me in the airport. So you can imagine how frustrating and scary that is. So I had 24 hours to sneak out from Uganda and then smuggle myself midnight into Kenya. So I had, again, to bribe drivers to get me across the border.
Now, you were doing interviews on NPR radio, which is in English. How did you get on the radio? What were the interviews about?
So there was one American reporter who risked his life to come to Mogadishu when Mogadishu was in flames. And I happened to be the right time, the right place. I was walking on this neighborhood looking for my own mother because I couldn't find her for 3 days. And here was Paul Salopek, who's an American journalist, taking pictures of the city. And once I realized there's this white guy and I have learned English from watching movies, and it was time to practice my English and see if he's going to understand my stories. That way, Paul Salopek, who gathered my stories and published my story, and then NPR found those stories, and they realized we really need this man and his voice because he's in Mogadishu and he's taking risks, telling his story. And that is what the world needed at the time. And that's how my story got on air. You know, Brad, every day I woke up in Somalia, there was not one single day that I ever thought I was going to go back home. It's a constant feeling of death. It's a constant feeling of losing your life. I did not have internet, so there was a local cyber cafe, you know, a place where you go and use their computer to write emails and send audios. That place was full of Al-Shabaab sympathizers. They stand up on your shoulder, they see what you're writing, they see what you're doing, they see who you're communicating with. They were going after all the spies. And I walked into that cyber cafe every single day, sending my own stories. And if they found one of those stories, they could murder me on that same spot. I was only motivated with the fact that I got accepted sending my stories for free, that a whole community, a whole country might be able to listen to my voice. That was more to me, like, even if I die tomorrow, you know, my voice is out there and people might probably be talking about me. So that was one thing that really kept me thinking I have got this opportunity which not many young refugees don't have.
You made it out of Somalia, you made it into Kenya, and you didn't make it to America till 2015, so you were in Kenya for 4 years. Tell me what life was like for you in Kenya.
Technically, being a refugee in Kenya, we're supposed to live in the camps, refugee camps. In this case, one of the world's largest refugee camps. And my brother and I found that place to be extremely difficult to live, harsh, it's dry, it's very hot, it's very humid, it's very warm. So we decided to come to to Nairobi, which is one of the most advanced cities in Africa. And he and I were selling socks, hats, scarves, watches, shoes on the streets. We didn't have a permanent place. So I would be sticking a bunch of hats in the buses where people were riding. And I would ask them, buy it and pay me something, you know. Many times I've been handcuffed doing that. It was not a good, for the Kenyan government, refugees aren't supposed to work. So whatever we were doing was illegal. And then I think it got really, really bad when Al-Shabaab, the same radical group that I escaped in Somalia, came to Kenya and they attacked one of the biggest, most beautiful malls in Nairobi, and they took the whole mall hostage for like, 2 weeks?
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was when the Kenyan government realized, you know what, we cannot understand who's an Al-Shabaab and who's a Somali and who's a terrorist. So let's assume all of them are the same. So let's call refugees a problem.
Kind of what Trump is doing in the U.S. right now with Somalia.
Exactly. That is exactly what they were doing. They were coming into the apartments, they picked people, loaded them up in police trucks. I'm saying this because it happened to me. They dragged me all the way downstairs from my room, and I can never forget.
They sent you back to Somalia.
They did not send me back to Somalia. I had to bribe my way out while I was still handcuffed and in the back of the police truck. My brother and I were blindfolded, handcuffed, sitting in the back of the truck. And then the next thing you hear is, all right, how much do you want to pay for you to be free for the rest of the day? Thanks to the Americans who supported us, so we had some dollars in our pockets, and I had to give whatever I had for me to buy my own freedom for the next 24 hours. And then again, after 24 hours, same thing happened. So it became a situation where for 3 months, that's what we lived with, you know, being scared, being freaked out, not being able to even venture out to find food. And it sort of reminded me in 1991, being starved, my stomach was eating itself.
Eventually you made it to America. How did that work out?
I wanted to do everything I could to get to the United States. Believe me, and if I had the opportunity to come to the Mexican border, I would do it. But I could not. I mean, it was too far away. I didn't have that much money. So my American friends put together some funding to apply to a college in the United States. My brother and I both applied to a local community college in Maine, the state of Maine, and we got accepted by the college, and everything was great. But I was denied.
They would never give someone from Somalia a student visa because they're never returning. You're supposed to come to be a student and go home, and that's why you were denied.
That's right.
Right.
That's exactly how it happened. It was a non-immigrant visa. So anyways, I won a lottery, the diversity visa lottery, which is a congressionally approved and 15 million people, I think, annually apply to this program with the hope of migrating to the United States. And I was one of a very lucky 120,000 people that were selected in the year 2014. And, you know, 120,000 are not the number that comes to the U.S. There's always they only have 50,000 visas available. To me, the chance of also again being rejected was high, but I did not give up. I fought for it. I think the most difficult part of the visa process was when the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi asked me to bring what they call a good letter of good conduct, which shows that I have not done or committed any crimes in Kenya. So to get this letter, I had to go to the Kenyan police department. And imagine this is the time when the police was looking for refugees.
They wanted
refugees
to throw
had
you
to be
out.
sent back. They want to throw me out,
Right.
but now you have to go to their house. That was my scariest day in my whole life.
I think you were very lucky to have found somebody who gave it to you, right?
Yep, exactly. And I was very lucky to find someone who was eager for a bribery, you know. Arriving in the U.S. with the lottery visa, I do not qualify for the refugee assistance that most refugees receive once they land in the United States. So I really needed someone to sponsor me, to show a proof of residence, you know, place that I'm going to stay. A family who are epidemiologists, both of them doctors. They work with the CDC. They also teach at the University of New Hampshire. they decided to give me a place to stay. I was very lucky to be able to find a family that who said, you're going to be with us. We have got a room for you. Your room is furnished. You know, you got everything, a closet, bed, and all that. I don't take anything for granted. That's why I wake up every day in the United States being very thankful, extremely thankful that as I talk to you today, I am an American citizen.
But you also wrote a book. It's called Call Me American, and it was published in 2018. Tell me about the book.
So I put together my memoir, Call Me American, first of all, to show and introduce the world of my own family, what we went through.
That's amazing. What do you feel as a U.S. citizen now of Donald Trump calling the country you came from, Somalia, a shithole?
The guy is ignorant. I suggested that we send him a copy of my book because, unfortunately, I also read his book, The Art of the Deal, when I was in Kenya before he became a president. I thought he was a nice guy, but turns out he's not. I would say, as president, I love this country more than you do. I really believe so. And I believe that I'm more patriotic. And guess what? I'm a Muslim. I'm a Somali. I'm an immigrant. I'm a former refugee. I'm a former asylum seeker. And I'm a person of color. And I'm very proud of this country. And things that you say, things that you describe to the Somalis, to the Africans, and everything else, it's a betrayal to my American dream. I never expected that a leader of the free world would have ever said something like that. And I hope that you reconsider, remove Somalia and other countries from this travel ban, and that you need to know that there are children like myself right now in Yemen and Somalia and other places who are growing up and want some hope and a dream and a motivation, and you're killing all of that. I hope that the America that I wanted and that those children want will one day come back.
Finally, where do we find your book if we wanted to read your book and buy it?
But check with your local bookstore, online, Google it, it'll be there.
Abdi Iftin, quite a life so far, and you're such a young man. You lived 5 lives already, and an amazing, amazing story of survival and success. And I only wish you more and greater success, and I wish Donald Trump would watch this, because maybe he would change his mind. Thanks for coming on.
I hope he will. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, speed round time.
Are you hearing yourself?
I hear myself, but why did I switch positions all of a sudden? That's so strange.
They did the same thing last week.
Yeah, where are you? You're just like in the clouds?
No, we're your conscience.
You're my conscience. There we go.
Oh,
what? There you are. Oh, I guess we can't put. I guess we can't put the timer.
It's only you.
Yeah.
We're just talking to you.
You'll just okay. Let me. What is it when we do a seance? Let me.
Yeah.
Let me.
Channel
Yo-Yo and Ness-quick. I need to channel you. Yo-Yo and Ness-quick. Are you there?
We are here.
You're there, Yo-Yo and Ness-quick.
Right? Can you guys hear me? Oh, they can't see us.
All right, you ready? 10 questions. We are out of shape. So we're going to do 10 questions in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Completely out of shape right now. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Don't blow me up. Go.
Okay. On June 30th, 2020, we mailed your new card for the Form I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjustment status receipt number. What's that mean?
It means you got your green card coming in the mail. Congratulations.
As a sponsorship, being on food stamps isn't an issue in Florida?
Not true.
May I ask, how can a mature person who's aged over 40 immigrate?
The same way an immature person can, through family, employment, investment, etc.
If I apply for unemployment benefits, will it affect my sponsorship for parent?
Yes. Oh, unemployment? No.
Is USCIS issuing green cards lately?
Yes.
How can I adjust my H-1B to work-based green card?
Get sponsored in a job.
Can someone be a joint sponsor petitioning someone if they're on food stamps or owe taxes on the payment plan?
Owe taxes, yes. Food stamps, no.
I got a RFE requesting additional documents, but the tax return we filed shows that we owe the IRS requested a payment plan via mail. We haven't heard back from that yet. Will this be an issue?
No, as long as you're on a payment plan, but you guys kill me every time.
Dang.
That was like content. Wow, and now you're disappearing. I like that. I like that, Julian.
All right, so what is boo? Booing the Brad Show live.
We were all
I think it's because of the time, the little delay. There's a delay. We would have got it.
Maybe.
Would have got it, yo.
All right, so what's the last question?
How long does it take for a widow's petition to approve after receiving a receipt notice for that petition?
Oh, at least 12 months.
Awesome, that's it.
That was it. All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day.
Okay, so let's see all the nice things that the Brad Squad has to say.
All right.
The first one comes from Sasha Ford, and she says, I'm here, guys, just listening. I have an upcoming exam, and I am trying to balance both the show and studying.
All right, Sasha, make sure you get a good grade. You can always watch this after the test. Study.
Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck. It's always fun live, though.
Yes.
All right, our second one comes from Tracy Lacey saying, come on, people. We're all getting free advice info here. It's not that hard to give a thumbs up. Show some love, y'all. Thank you, Tracy.
That's right, Tracy. I agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. The least you could do.
Right.
Tracy, one of our OGs,
That's
always
right.
has our back.
That's right.
Alrighty, guys. The next one comes from another loyal one. Lisa Bling Rose, and she says the callers need to share the show and tell a friend to tell a friend and show Uncle Brad we love him.
Thank you very much.
Job
Thank you,
finding time
Lisa.
to come
Thank
on
you.
The air.
Thank you.
Hashtag you're the best.
I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right, our next comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, wow, Uncle Brad is a genius. All of the callers that have an immigration lawyer seems they're not confident with their lawyers. They always call Uncle Brad for all relevant information where they get all their questions answered. Hire him. That was my little ad.
Yes, exactly.
Hire him.
Exactly.
We have one more.
Okay.
Our last one, I'll say it. Our last one comes from Carlene Dainty Everblessed Stewart saying, hey, Brad, thanks for being so informative. We really appreciate it. Thanks, squad team. We rock.
All right. Everybody rocks. The squad rocks. The crew rocks. Yo-Yo rocks. Ness-quick rocks. We rock, damn it. All right. Any last words, Yo-Yo Ness-quick?
I'm getting my new mic mailed to me tomorrow.
A new mic for Yo-Yo and Ness-quick.
I'll make sure to charge mine.
All right. By the way, before we leave, I saw that Kanye may be running for president. Right? Did you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Kanye may be running. So if Kanye runs for president, then I think Brad should run for president too. I mean, everyone.
Well,
everybody, because everyone's been saying in the comments, it reminded me, everyone's been saying in the comments, Brad 2020. But I'm telling you right now, Kanye runs, Brad runs.
Do it.
And by the way, you guys are going to be in the cabinet. All right. Yes, Yo-Yo. You will be
the flyest.
You will be Secretary of all Entertainment. And Vanessa, you will be Secretary of all Fashion and Beauty. And basically, I don't need anybody else. Screw foreign policy, economics. We don't need it. What the hell? So that's my whole entire thing. Vote for me. I've got entertainment and fashion. There we go.
That's it.
I think I can win.
I vote for you.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. World peace is right. We need it.
We have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough. I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it.
The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800 1-800-LAWLING. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLING. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?